Why is high-end audio so subjective? This could be an interesting question. It's asked by Jay in Thousand Oaks, California. Hi, Paul. Being a newbie into the audiophile world, I'd to learn the hard way that audio is extremely subjective. There's no way you can trust measurements or, for that matter, another person's opinion of a product. Why? Why is that? Why is audio so subjective, say, compared to video? Is it because the science still has to catch up in the understanding of how humans perceive sound? Thanks for all your videos. Well, you're certainly welcome, Jay. It's a pretty good question. First off, I know people like to assume that video, as Jay uses as an example, is not subjective, that we can say with good confidence that a 4K screen looks better than a 1080p screen. And that's true. But we can also say that this power amplifier that measures this way will definitely sound better than this power amplifier that measures that way. For example, a big, powerful, well-designed tube amplifier is absolutely going to sound better, and in some respects even measure better if you do the right results, than this little weeny integrated, piece of crap, right? So, and we could show that by measurements. We could show that by, you take 100 people and they would all hear the same thing, just like 100 people would all see a 4K screen would look better than a 1080p screen or a 720 or whatever. I'm not a video expert. That said, I can tell you that from personal experience, video screens, they vary all over the map. I'm sure before all this crazy COVID stuff came around, when you walked into a Best Buy and you saw the wall of televisions, right? They all look different. They're all 4K. They all have, blah, blah, blah. They all look different, very different. And that's a subjective response. It's a subjective personal opinion. You buy that television because it looks better to you. Now, technically, why? Well, maybe it has, instead of LEDs, it's a plasma, or maybe it's OLED technology. And yes, we can define those things. Most people wouldn't know what an organic light emitting diode was compared to just a standard light emitting diode or a LCD. How many people actually understand what the hell an LCD is, right? Compared to an OLED. You hear those terms, you probably don't know what they mean. So, and I know what they mean, and I got to tell you, when I go out, I use subjective means to choose the screen I want. Give you another example. Technically, most televisions are supposedly superior to film because they, I forgot what they call it, but it's this crazy, to me it looks horrible. They all come this way. It's this high speed, 60 frames a second or whatever, I forgot what they're doing. But when people move, it looks, how do I describe it? It's this motion thing. It takes the judder, I think they call it, out of it, where you have it in film, because film goes at 24 frames a second, and as a camera pans back and forth, if somebody moves, you're actually seeing in your eye, that looks like film, and the other one looks like video, which supposedly is, now real. Well, it doesn't look natural at all. I hate it. First thing I do, I get to a hotel, first thing I do is I go into the setup and I turn that off, because subjectively, it doesn't look real to me. So, yeah, I think food is subjective. Audio is subjective. I think video is subjective. Cars are subjective, even though they may all measure the same. And I think that's basically the answer to your question, is depending on who you are, if you pay attention to something, you're being subjective. You're offering an opinion based on how it feels to you, or sounds, or looks. And that, my friend, is all I got to say about that. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for the question.